In 1965, a 26-year-old economics professor at the University of Chicago made a decision that would quietly transform him into one of America's wealthiest academics. Eugene Fama chose to bet his entire financial future on a radical theory that Wall Street called impossible and naive. While his name never appeared on Forbes lists, while he never owned a Lamborghini or posted about his wealth on social media, Fama systematically built a fortune exceeding $100 million, all on a professor's salary. The decision he made? To live as if markets were perfectly efficient, which meant abandoning every get-rich-quick strategy, every stock tip, and every attempt to beat the market. Instead, he would become the market's silent partner. Today, you'll discover how this unknown academic proved that the most powerful wealth-building strategy isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being completely invisible while you let compound interest do the heavy lifting. This is the invisible wealth strategy that revolutionized how the smartest money gets built. Eugene Fama became known as the father of the academic millionaire archetype, but not for the reasons you'd expect. While developing his groundbreaking efficient market hypothesis, which simply states that stock prices reflect all available information and can't be consistently beaten, Fama made a radical decision that separated him from every other finance professor in America. He didn't just teach this theory, he lived it with every dollar he earned. While his colleagues wrote papers about optimal portfolio theory and then proceeded to chase hot stocks and market timing strategies with their own money, Fama turned his modest professor's salary into his personal laboratory. Every paycheck became proof of concept for his academic work. His radical financial philosophy was brutally simple. If markets are efficient, then the only logical strategy is to own everything, own it cheaply, and never try to be smarter than the collective wisdom of millions of investors. This wasn't just academic theory, this was his blueprint for building generational wealth on an ordinary income. What Fama discovered through 5 decades of living his own research was that being invisible is the ultimate wealth strategy. While the finance world celebrated stock-picking gurus and market timing prophets, the real fortunes were being built by people nobody was watching. The 1970s and 80s presented Fama with the ultimate test of his convictions. Wall Street was exploding into a money-making machine unlike anything America had ever seen. Investment banks were throwing 7-figure signing bonuses at finance professors, desperate for academic credibility to fuel their derivatives revolution. One by one, Fama watched his brilliant colleagues pack their offices and trade their tweed jackets for Armani suits. They were leaving the University of Chicago for Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and Salomon Brothers, where their theoretical knowledge could be transformed into millions in bonuses and stock options. The academic dinner parties became increasingly awkward. While his former peers returned with stories of 6-figure bonuses, corner offices overlooking Manhattan, and expense accounts that exceeded most people's annual salaries, Fama continued driving the same Honda Civic he'd owned for over a decade. His colleagues were buying second homes in the Hamptons while he remained in his modest faculty housing near campus. The whispers started, "Gene's brilliant, but he's leaving millions on the table. He could be running a hedge fund by now. Why is he wasting his talent on a professor's salary when he understands markets better than anyone?" Even his own students questioned his choices. They'd watch him explain efficient market theory in a classroom filled with future Wall Street titans, then see him walk to his aging car in the faculty parking lot, while they headed off to internships that paid more per summer than his annual salary. The opportunity cost seemed staggering. Every year Fama stayed at the university appeared to be another year of sacrificing millions in potential income. To the outside world, he looked like a man too stubborn or too naive to capitalize on his own genius. But while Wall Street's golden boys were burning bright, they were also burning out fast. The same colleagues who had mocked Fama's modest lifestyle began experiencing the dark side of high-stakes finance. Market crashes wiped out bonuses overnight. Leveraged bets backfired spectacularly. The stress-induced heart attacks, divorces, and burnouts became legendary on trading floors. Meanwhile, something extraordinary was happening in Fama's quiet faculty office. The boring professor who everyone pitied was systematically building one of the most impressive fortunes in academic history. His approach was ruthlessly systematic and almost mechanically simple. Every month, like clockwork, Fama automated his investing process. He maxed out every tax-advantaged account available, 401k, IRAs, and later Roth conversions. He lived comfortably but conservatively on just 60% of his professor's salary, investing the remaining 40% without exception. No day trading. No crypto speculation when it emerged. No hot stock tips from his brilliant graduate students who went on to run major funds. No attempts to time market crashes or capitalize on bubbles. Just broad market index funds month after month for 50 years straight. The mathematical power of this consistency was staggering. While his former colleagues rode the emotional roller coaster of boom and bust cycles, Fama's wealth compounded relentlessly in the background. His portfolio grew through the 1973-74 crash, the 1987 Black Monday, the dot-com bubble, the 2008 financial crisis. Every market trauma that destroyed fortunes became another opportunity for his systematic buying to capture shares at discounted prices. By the 1990s, while many of his Wall Street peers were dealing with career setbacks, health problems, and financial instability from their high-risk lifestyles, Fama had quietly accumulated an 8-figure net worth. Yet he still drove his aging Honda, still lived in his modest faculty home, still wore the same style of conservative clothing he'd always preferred. The man everyone thought was missing out had actually been playing a completely different game, and winning it spectacularly. Then came October 14, 2013, the day that vindicated everything Eugene Fama had believed and lived for nearly 5 decades. The Nobel Committee awarded Fama the prize in economic sciences, but here's what made this recognition unprecedented. He wasn't just being honored for developing elegant theories in ivory tower isolation. The committee explicitly recognized that Fama had proven his efficient market hypothesis by betting his entire financial life on it, and winning beyond anyone's wildest expectations. The numbers were staggering. While the average American investor had struggled to achieve 4 to 6% annual returns over the same period, often losing money to emotional trading and fee-heavy products, Fama's boring index fund strategy had delivered a compound annual return of 11.2% over 5 decades. To put this in perspective, his methodical approach had outperformed 95% of professional money managers, hedge fund titans, and Wall Street legends who commanded 8-figure salaries and managed billions in assets. The quiet professor had beaten them all by refusing to try to beat anyone. But here's the twist that shocked the financial world. Despite accumulating a fortune that would make most CEOs envious, Fama's wealth was almost entirely invisible. No mansion in Malibu. No fleet of luxury cars. No private jets or yacht club memberships. No appearances on financial television or magazine covers celebrating his success. While his peers had optimized for net worth display, building wealth that everyone could see and admire, Fama had optimized for net worth itself. His strategy wasn't about looking rich. It was about becoming genuinely, sustainably, generationally wealthy. The academic who everyone thought was playing it too safe had discovered the ultimate wealth secret. True financial power comes not from impressing others with your money, but from being so wealthy that you don't need to impress anyone at all. So what exactly was Fama's system? How did a university professor transform a modest academic salary into a 9-figure net worth through pure discipline and patience? After 5 decades of building wealth in complete anonymity, Fama's approach crystallized into 4 non-negotiable rules that governed every financial decision he made. Rule number 1. Live perpetually below your means no matter how much his income grew, from assistant professor to full professor to Nobel laureate. Fama never inflated his lifestyle to match his earning power. He maintained the same modest standard of living throughout his entire career, treating every salary increase as an opportunity to invest more, not spend more. Rule number 2. Automate everything to eliminate emotion. Fama removed human psychology from his wealth-building equation entirely. Every investment decision was predetermined and automatic. Market crashes, euphoric bubbles, economic uncertainty, none of it mattered because his system never required him to make emotional decisions about money. Rule number 3. Diversify so completely that you own everything instead of trying to pick winning stocks or sectors. Fama bought the entire market through broad index funds. He owned every company, every industry, every economic trend simultaneously. His portfolio was the economy itself, stripped of all speculation and ego. Rule number 4. Never panic sell, always panic buy. When markets crashed and everyone else was selling in terror, Fama increased his investments. When bubbles formed and everyone was buying in greed, he maintained his systematic approach. He turned every market crisis into a wealth-building opportunity, while his peers chased performance and status. Jumping between hot investment strategies, hiring expensive advisors, and constantly second-guessing their decisions, Fama chased invisibility and compounding. His strategy wasn't complex or exciting. It was simple, boring, and mathematically devastating. The result? A 9-figure net worth built entirely on a professor's salary, generated through pure discipline and patience over 50 years of relentless consistency. Eugene Fama proved that the most powerful wealth strategy isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most invisible while compound interest does the heavy lifting. Here's your immediate challenge. Implement the Fama protocol starting today. Step 1. Automate your investing. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to investment accounts. Remove your ability to make emotional decisions about money. If you can't automate it, you won't sustain it. Step 2. Maximize every tax-advantaged account: 401k, Roth IRA, HSA. Max them all out before you spend $1 on anything that others will see. These accounts are your invisible wealth accelerators. Step 3. Live below your actual net worth as your wealth grows. Resist every urge to upgrade your lifestyle to match it. The wider the gap between your visible lifestyle and your actual net worth, the faster your wealth compounds. Remember, you're no longer optimizing for looking rich. You're optimizing for being rich. There's a massive difference, and it's the difference between financial stress and financial freedom. While everyone else is posting their purchases on social media and competing in lifestyle inflation games, you'll be building generational wealth in complete silence. The invisible millionaire strategy isn't just about money, it's about freedom. The freedom that comes from never needing to impress anyone with your wealth because you're too busy building it. See you in our next video, where we will continue to learn about growing and compounding wealth as young men. The journey to financial independence is just beginning.